blue moon.
So this first clip you're going to see is Reelsteady Go with the sliders turned all the way, or pretty close, maybe one dash all the way to the left on the smoothness. You can still kind of see it's not cropping in and out nearly as much as it would be if the sliders were turned up a little bit. And you can still see some of the fisheye in the corners, but when you have a lot of movement around, I don't think it's as noticeable. If you're looking for it, yeah, it's noticeable. But if you're just, kind of into the content, I just don't think it's that noticeable.
Just like you, so I can be lonely in the silence of space and observe this world of doom. Oh, blue.
So before we get up into the above the trees here, I'm going to show you a clip where no smoothing at all was used. I think there's a little section above the trees that you can see where the wind's really kicking me around, and then later on I'll come back to that and show you with Reelsteady Go how well it smoothed out that turbulence from the wind. It was a really windy day when I did this. It wasn't windy down below the trees, but as soon as I crested above the trees, the wind was just kind of knocking me all over the place. So you can kind of see that here.
My old friends behind me, the old blue moon. I wanna pour a tall glass of you to cleanse my soul of the trouble I've been and the damage.
So we're going to finish up that Reelsteady Go clip with the settings all the way to the lowest. I'm not turning up the sliders any because I want you to see the comparison between Reelsteady Go and GoPro Hypersmooth, which will be the last clip on the video, kind of show you a good comparison. But right here you can see just how much it smoothed it out. Now one thing that does look a little weird is when there's no other stuff going on, you really see that that distortion from the cropping and the edges, and I'm not too thrilled about that, but there are ways to kind of address that too within the Reelsteady Go app and within your editing software.
If comets rain down on my one-horse town, I'll be sitting on the hood of my car. Oh, blue moon. I wanna pour a tall glass of you, cleanse my soul of the trouble I've been and the damage I've got.
So we're back down into the trees, and we are running no smoothing on this clip, no hypersmooth, and I didn't edit this other than taking it back out of the, going back to the letterbox and just cropping it for that. This was recorded in a 4:3 because with the intention of using Reelsteady Go, but I cropped it into the letterbox just to make it match the rest of this sequence. Reelsteady Go again on this one, and I believe here I want to show you. So pay attention right now to the fisheye on the edges, and as I come around the camper here, I'll show you how I correct that in some of my other videos that I've played around with. Use the distortion, or you can just anti-distort it and then crop in. That's a effect within Adobe Premiere Pro, is the distortion. So that gets rid of most of the fisheye effect on there. I cranked the curvature all the way up to 100 on that lens distortion. I don't know why I picked 1080 Super View as the default. I don't think that matters. I think that just gives you your defaults within that lens distortion effect. And then I wound up the final crop being scale at 167 to get rid of the white space that the curvature leaves. And this last clip is the Hypersmooth.
And the damage I'm gonna do. blue moon. Your blue moon, oh blue moon. Your blue